Good evening, and welcome to the St. Petersburg by Night podcasting network. Tonight, we present to you our Werewolf the Apocalypse Chronicle, Hounds.
Welcome to another St. Pete by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing Gaia of an endless fight, until our final days we will fight. Thanks, man, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the worm's forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. Fuck you, never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network. St. Petersburg by Night is a World of Darkness role-playing community originating in St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Kent on all social media, and I will be your storyteller tonight. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Hounds, our Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicle set in Tampa Bay, Florida, where a pack of young guru have traveled from Michigan to assist the Sept of the Evening Star in combating the forces of the worm, both physical and spiritual. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media listed in the description down below, and you can join our community by following that Discord link where you could take part in one of the many activities we have running all month long. We are now offering for players to run or play in 20th anniversary or Chronicles of Darkness games as well, so head on over and join our community today. Now let's introduce our players. Players, go ahead and introduce yourselves if you please.
Hi everyone, my name is Nikki and I will be playing Delphine Ruinspeaker, the Silent Strider Theurge.
Hello everybody, my name is Jay, and I'll be playing Forged from Failure, the Bonar Arun.
Hi everyone, my name is Lilith and I'll be playing Juniper Camine, the Ragabash Black Fairy.
Hey everyone, my name is Ben, and I'll be playing Raymond Gorn, the Ghost Council Philodox.
Before we get everyone caught up on the goings on last week of Hellhounds, I want to remind everyone that our Halloween giveaway is ongoing, but it's going to end November 1st. That gives you one more week to get those entries in and win that Werewolf starter pack. Let's take a look at the commercial. You read that right. It is our first ever giveaway, and what better time to have a giveaway than the spooky season. My name is Kent, and I'm the founder of St. Pete by Night and the storyteller of both Rage Across Tampa and Hounds, and it's time for our Halloween giveaway. So let's get into the details about this giveaway because it is a big one and you're going to want to participate. First, let's take a look at the prizes. Our grand prize winner is in for a Werewolf starter pack, and that comes with a Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition core rulebook, a character journal, a full dice set necessary to play the game, and a handmade crocheted dice bag courtesy of our friends over at Chromatic Creations. And if you aren't selected for the grand prize, don't worry, because you are in for a great runner-up prize. 3 of our runner-ups will receive a full dice set necessary to play any World of Darkness game and a handmade crocheted dice bag courtesy of Chromatic Creations. So those bags you see on the screen, one of them could be yours if you're a runner-up in this contest. So you're probably asking yourself, how do I enter? Well, there's many ways you can enter into this contest, including visiting St. Pete by Night on YouTube, submitting a video about your favorite Tampaverse character, joining our Discord on the link down below, following St. Pete by Night on Instagram, commenting on the Instagram photos, and following St. Pete by Night on TikTok. But wait, there's more. You could also submit a TikTok about your favorite Tampaverse character. Follow St. Pete by Night on Blue Sky. Like, repost, or reply to our Blue Sky posts. Share a post using one of the hashtags St. Pete by Night, Rage Across Tampa, Tampaverse, or SPbN Halloween. Plus, there are bonus entries if you're a Twitch subscriber, so subscribe to Twitch. But of course, it wouldn't be a giveaway without the important legal jargon, so let's get to the important stuff. The giveaway runs October 7th through November 1st, 2025. You must be 18 or older and a US resident to enter. Winners are chosen at random through Gleam and announced on YouTube and our social media. The contest is free to enter, no purchase necessary, and it's not sponsored or endorsed by YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or Blue Sky. See full terms and rules with the link in the description. So make sure to get those entries in by November 1st. You can enter more than once by following that link in the description to get to our giveaway. Trust me, you do not want to miss out on that. That being said, let's get everybody caught up on the state of affairs of the Hounds. Last week, the pack was reunited with Stakes and Sean after they emerged through the Moon Bridge, having survived the ambush at the mines in Michigan. Being worse for wear, with permanent injuries that would not be able to regenerate, they were able to get a little bit of news on what happened and began the process of healing their mentor and the new arrival from Michigan. This caused a bit of conflict with Raymond, especially having found out that his former mentor, Red, had died in the assault, and after having not parted on the best of terms, Raymond was definitely up in his feelings about it. He did manage to be confronted by Charles and then consoled by Stakes, which softened the blow a little, but how much it softened it remains to be seen. Then we saw Raymond and Forged go out for drinks and bond over their shared trauma. We saw Delphine connect with her patron Owl, looking for advice on how to take care of the ghost problem. Question is she going to take that advice? Then we had some sisterly bonding between Juniper and Jester. And finally, Forged got a talking to by the pack patron Ember. For once, maybe a talking to that was received well from Ember. Either way, let's get into this week's episode with our first scene. Juniper and Raymond. You decide to go for a hike on Raymond's insistence as he is trying to connect individually with each member of the pack. However, he has a lot on his mind, especially since the return of Stakes and the news of what happened up in Michigan. Juniper is also dealing with her own feelings on the matter as her mama Stakes was permanently wounded, and I'm sure that leaves some feelings lingering. But that being said, as you hike along the Hillsborough River, the scene is yours.
As we're walking, just probably in silence for a bit, because I'm trying to figure out what to say and what to talk about, still trying to think and compartmentalize everything that happened. I'm just gonna, after a while, kind of stop and turn to Juniper. How are you doing after all this?
I turn my head slowly towards Ray, stare at him with a blank face. You know, I honestly do not know how to answer that question. There's a part of me that feels absolutely nothing about any of it. And there's another part of me that wants to go full scorched earth and do whatever possible to completely destroy the mine, regardless of whether or not we can get the iron afterward. That whole mission, I can't help but feel that the whole mission was leaked. And I've been suspicious about it this entire time. I don't have any proof. But I think it's very strange that everything went so wrong.
Well, you're not wrong. The mission was leaked.
What? How do you know?
I kind of scratch the back of my head and Stakes mentioned something.
My eyes narrow at him, and I take a deep breath. Oh. Funny how she said it to you and not anybody else.
Well, I don't know if that was intentional. I know that she's, recovering. It was when she just got back. And I mean, I did have my outburst. I'll give you that. I was very angry in that moment. But I think she mentioned it to me because she knew that I could deal with it. It's hard to deal with it because I know. And I am full full on with you in wanting to go scorch earth on this. But this might be something I will wait to tell you fully until we can all move past a little bit from the new reality of it, that is stakes and the mission and everyone being gone.
Yeah, no. I'm not gonna just run off to Michigan and do that. I said that I was feeling like it. Not that I was just gonna go run up there, guru blazing. I promised Stakes I wouldn't do that, and I'm gonna keep that promise. You know, I can handle this shit. Like, I haven't gone off and done anything crazy. I haven't gone off and put any dents in the RVs at the cairn or anything like that. So I feel like I can handle this information, but it's really nice to know that other people are making that decision for me. Really appreciate it.
Like I said, I'll give you it that I definitely blew my top off a little bit with the whole situation. But I didn't say that you were going to run off to Michigan when you learned about this. All I said was, this is still a fresh wound. And I think everyone needs a little bit more time to process it. I don't even know if I should have been told. Because I feel like I want to leave right now. But I know I can't. And I know that it would be dumb. So, just, I'm not telling you because I think you're going to make a rash decision. It's not what I'm doing here.
I swallow back my anger and frustration, and I look back at Ray again. I can handle what's happening, Ray. If you know who it was, I'd like to know. I will keep my mouth shut. I will not react. I will not do anything crazy. But you do not need to shoulder this burden alone. Man, I don't know what's been up with you, but you have been getting angrier and angrier and angrier as the weeks have gone on. And I heard you explode out there that night. Like, there's clearly something more going on. And you do not need to be dealing with whatever it is alone. You can tell me, and I will help you. I will help shoulder it with you. Because it's clearly more than just what happened with Stakes and Sean and the Seps.
I want to insight check that first part of whether or not she's going to be able to take this information well.
Sure. Roll me a wits and insight. Juniper, roll me a composure and resolve.
Juniper's telling the truth.
I understand she thinks she's telling the truth, but is her...
Oh, okay. I get it now. What rage am I at?
You are at rage 2.
I also rolled with rage 2, assuming...
Absolutely.
Okay. I got 7 with a crit.
I got a 5, but without a crit.
She seems, I mean, she's being honest, undoubtedly. In her mind, she thinks she can handle it, but also based off of her exterior, based off of her body motions, and even though she seems a little bit tense, she seems well in control right now. Like she can handle a lot. Considering everything that's happened, this is probably the most calm you've seen her in a tense situation, possibly ever.
Fair enough. In that case, I will kind of stare Juniper down for a bit, just keeping eye contact, doing that reading, and then after a while, okay. So, like I said, you were right. The mission was leaked. And Stakes told me during all the chaos, when everything was happening, she saw Rick with all the people that ambushed them.
I take a very, very long sigh. And you watch as I go through a few seconds of breathing techniques. There's a flash of just absolute righteous fury that flashes through my eyes, but I tamper it down. And I close my eyes. Just take a moment. Okay. I'm good. I'm good. But wow, hearing that. That motherfucker.
I know. As soon as she told me, I wanted to immediately tell everyone and figure out something, some plan to go back up there and make him pay. But it's not what we should be doing right now. Can't cause more trouble or more, I don't even know. It's a complicated situation. And we're on a mission right now. And this is a horrible timing for it, for all of this to happen. But we need to focus on the mission at hand and what we're doing.
Oh, don't worry, Ray. Don't worry. He's gonna end up coming to us. He's gonna end up coming to us.
I really hope he does. But yeah, that's all I know. All I know is that he is connected to the others. So, Stakes didn't say anything else.
Man. I am honestly just seething right now. And I think that the others deserve to know. Forged is going to crash the fuck out about this. But I do think that they deserve to know.
You're right. I mean, I want to try and tell them later, but that could lead to issues and problems down the line too. If they don't know right away and it's more of a surprise and more of a shock, that could lead to even more volatile reactions. And both scenarios aren't good. Telling them now or telling them later. Each one has its own problems and its own messed up situations.
The longer this is kept hidden, the worse of the reaction it's going to be. And if Forged ever found out that we both knew and didn't say anything, I shake my head. That is going to undo a lot of the work that he's been putting in. And it's already at the point where even I notice that he's changing. So it's best that we don't ruin that.
I agree. But hopefully I hope maybe Stakes is going to tell everyone. I think maybe she was planning on it anyway. Because there's no reason to just tell me unless she wants me to tell everyone, which I didn't get that impression. I feel like she was telling me about it because of my outburst and because of my feelings in the moment. She was trying to maybe help me direct my anger to someone and not just lashing out. So I'm sure she plans on telling us soon. But if she doesn't, I'll let everyone know.
All right. Yeah, let's give her a chance to say it. She was in it, not us. It's her story to tell first.
Exactly.
Are you okay? Really? Okay.
No.
How can I help you? You've helped me. It's only fair I do the same.
I'll let out a deep sigh and kind of look down at the ground. Kick a couple rocks and look back up. At the moment, there's not much to help with. I mean, someone I respected was killed. Last time I talked to him, I basically ruined our entire relationship that we had up until that point. That trust that we had built up was gone. And now, after all that, and hoping that in the future I could rebuild that trust, it will never happen. The last words I said to him will forever be those horrible things. So, at the moment, I can't really think of what you can help me with. But knowing who to blame and knowing who to direct my anger at, now that you know, we can plan. We can try to figure something out. And once everyone knows, we can hopefully come up with something. But can't really ask for help when I don't know what I need help with.
I sympathize with that a lot. They took my family too, and I'll never see them again. I'll never speak to them again. Never get to say I love you again. They're gone. I wasn't on the best terms with my grandfather. And not being able to fully reconcile with that, I have to live with. So, I really get it, man. And I'm sorry. But I know that he still had a lot of respect for you. And I do not think that there is as bad blood there as you think that there is. And something that I can suggest is talking to Eliza. Because there might be a way to reach out. Even if he isn't here with us now. I don't know if it's possible, but there's a chance. You know? Might be something worth trying at least.
I hope you're right. I hope that there wasn't as much bad blood as I think, but I'll never know. And hopefully what you said about maybe Eliza having some way could be true, but again, it's a potential. So I'm just trying to deal with it right now. Just trying to figure some stuff out. And we have stuff that we need to do, and that'll help me take my mind off of it. So, enough about that. Because I don't want to keep talking about that situation.
I get it. But if it becomes too much, just come to me. And we'll figure out a way to make it less, okay? Whether that's just fighting or going shooting or something to get your mind off of it. And really sell that pent-up anger. I'm here for you.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, switching gears. How much luck have you had with what we need to do on your end of things?
I figured some stuff out, but haven't progressed as much as I would like. But that's definitely something that we should talk more of as a pack, because getting everyone's perspective on what they all learned together and coming into something, some sort of plan, step forward. I think that's the next step.
I agree, but some of our pack talks devolve into the same back and forth. So I just wanted to get a check-in with you before having to navigate the same old, you killed my parents, and just let me do my drugs, and you're so fucking weird, Juniper. You know, I just wanted to have a real conversation with somebody, honestly.
That's fair. I mean, I guess the short and sweet of it is we made contact with Spud and got some information from him about what this leech could be originally. It seems like all the information that Charles gave us about it kind of falls in line with one specific breed of leech. And so it also sounds like it's an older leech, which means it's more dangerous. So moving forward, we may have to be a little bit more cautious and a little bit more aware when we go about doing more on-site investigations.
Should we start going more as a pack rather than in pairs?
Depending on the location. I think if we figure out, or at least come to a consensus, that the area that we're going to look at or the things that we're going to do can be done at a pair level, then we can do that. But if there's even the slightest inkling of it being more dangerous, then I think a full pack going is the best step forward. Because knowing this now, I don't want to test anything. I don't want to have any missteps. I don't want any accidents. This is getting a little bit more serious. So down the line, yeah, more pack movement, I think, is the best. But what did you and Forge find out? Short and sweet, I guess.
We investigated one of the hives, and we're finding missing items from people and linking them to the missing persons. I've been spending a bit of time doing that. Artie is helping me create a map of where we're finding those belongings in the hives and where the people have gone missing, but there doesn't seem to be much of a connection there. It still seems to be just a bit random. Which is honestly smart on their end and unfortunate for us. But I haven't been able to go out with him for a little while. He's been going off on his own a little bit.
Well, I know he's also dealing with a lot because of his friend and everything. So it's understandable, but as long as he's not doing anything stupid. If he's just going out to the bars and drinking like he usually does, then that's not really a problem. But if he's going out doing stuff mission related by himself, then that is a problem. So next time we talk, next time we meet, I'll ask him.
Yeah. He's not the only one going out on his own sometimes, though.
We all have our routines.
Indeed we do. Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Do you have like a third shift job or something?
I do odd jobs. I mean, sometimes they happen at night. Sometimes they don't.
Okay. Just curious. Sometimes you just leave in the middle of the night. Not telling anybody. It's just kind of weird. At least Forged always says bye.
I mean, generally you guys are mainly asleep when I head out to go do stuff. So I'm not going to wake you guys up to say bye.
Okay. I'm just making sure. You know, that rule applies to you too. You know, no going out by yourself on mission shit.
The only thing that I've done mission related by myself is drive around. Never leaving my car. Just investigating areas. Trying to connect things on the map that I can't see via the map. Want to put actual boots on the ground, or at least tires on the ground.
All right. Well, just remember what I said. If you ever need help, I'm here.
I know.
I'm not really sleeping much nowadays either, so I can do a little late night investigating with you.
Sounds like a plan.
You're not doing drugs, are you? I just, you said you went and visited Spud and you've been going out by yourself a lot more late at night, and I sorry, I know I'm being weird. I just, we already have one person that is struggling with that, and I just want to make sure. And even Artie is way too charged up all the time and looking rough, and I'm just starting to worry a little bit.
I'll chuckle a little bit. No, I am not doing drugs. The worst thing I put in my body is energy drinks and every so often a cigarette.
I stare at Ray for a moment before I nod my head. All right, I believe you. I just had to make sure.
That's fair. But let's keep walking. I kind of just want to walk for a bit more.
We can do that. Well, would you rather walk or run? We don't have to worry about our clothes anymore. Not as much of a big deal to change.
I'm good with walking.
All right. Suit yourself. Let's walk.
So the conversation dies down, and the two of you continue your hike for quite some time before heading back towards the cairn. This takes us to our next scene. As day becomes dusk, your hike comes to an end, and you return to the cairn, preparing to part ways or go about your business. But as you arrive back at the cairn, you find Aspen at the cairn waiting for both of you. The scene is yours.
Aspen will be at the large table. There's some forms on the table, some big, maybe molds, that she has to one corner of the table, and she looks over to Juniper and Ray. Oh, it's actually perfect that you guys are here.
Looking a little confused, but kind of walking over. Yeah. What's up, Aspen?
Well, I was going to ask Juniper for help with a project, and just generally wanted to check up on the two of you.
Oh. A project? Me? You want my help? Well,
Absolutely.
oh. What's the project? What's going on?
Well, we could get to that in a moment, but how have you guys been with all that has happened in the last week-ish?
Well, I mean, we would probably be a lot worse if Stakes was dead, to be honest. But I mean, I personally am just grateful that she's still around and that she's traumatized as fuck, but she's okay and she's healed and she's here. But it's almost just like all of it's just almost too much to process fully. So I'm not like completely emotionally distraught about it, if that makes sense. And we've been keeping busy with our end of things and our mission. So I mean, I'd say that I'm doing pretty okay. What about you, Ray?
I mean, I agree. I'm glad that Stakes is back. Very worse for wear, but that she made it out alive. I mean, I think everyone kind of knows how I'm feeling right now with what happened with Red. I'm not doing the best, but I'm doing the best I can.
You know, you guys don't have to give me perfect answers, right? I'm asking because I care, not because the SEP leader needs to know that everybody's okay.
I know. I mean, I am giving you an honest answer. It's just I would say that 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 is going on is so much that my only reaction to it without losing my mind is to just logically process through it. Like my brain is like literally not letting me be an emotionally distraught mess over it all for like out of my own self-preservation, basically.
That's understandable. I get that. She'll side eye at Ray.
I mean, what do you want me to say? Do you want me to say that I want to find whoever did this and rip out their throat and unload every single bullet that I have on my person into their chest? Because that's what I want to do. But I know that's not what I should do right now. So, like I said, I'm not doing good, but I'm trying to not think about it right now and focus on what's going on right in front of us.
Okay. To that point, I was able to talk to Stakes now that she's been feeling better. I don't know how much she's relayed what she knows.
She told me a bit during my outburst, but she didn't give me like a full rundown. So I know who betrayed them. I know who I should be angry at. But much more than that, I don't know much.
Would you like to know more?
I would love to know more.
I shake my head, yes. Yeah. That would be appreciated.
Okay. Again, we don't know much as far as everything that's happened, but I was informed that Rick was amongst the ones that were involved in this attack. It seems that they had an informant, of course, and it was Black Spiral dancers. Many, many, many of them. There was a woman who seemed to be in charge during this situation. But the strangest part is that it seems to have nothing to do with anything we've been doing down here. It seems like an opportunity attack. Knowing that several packs were in one area, they took that to their advantage and used it. And the intentions are hard to pin down, but it seems like it was meant to just kill.
So there was no connection between what happened up there and down here. It was just wanton slaughter for the want of wanton slaughter.
We're still going to be getting information, and I hope to talk to Sean to see what else he knows, and maybe seeing any information that we can get from up there or in the aftermath. But while talking to Stakes, that seems to be their intention, is to take out significant steps in the area.
So was this just like a practice run for them then? Seeing how well they could stand up against several seps at once? Or just fucking annihilate everything around them? And this woman, has she been seen before this at all? Like, what the fuck?
I'm not sure. I don't know who this woman was, other than she was dressed a bit strange and she was barking orders. And as far as practice, it seemed like a organized situation. It seems like they were ready to attack before they even entered the mines. There was another bit of information as far as rocks being buried that they were pulling up. I'm not sure what all of that is about, but maybe that's part of it. But the intention was to kill as many as they possibly could. And that's why Stakes believes no one else made it out.
Jesus Christ. So, are we just like, oh, okay. They just slaughtered all of them. Like all of the seps that went up there. They just, everybody's gone.
As far as we are aware, that is correct.
So, is the Guru Nation just fucked at this point? If they can just take out multiple seps at once, like it's just a slaughter? Like it's not even a big deal? Like, did they have any losses? Did Sean say anything about killing any of the Black Spiral dancers, or?
Again, I haven't talked to Sean yet. I've only talked to Stakes. But as far as how she related to me, they weren't able to do much before they were completely pinned down. Sean was quite literally pinned down, and Stakes, her goal was to get him and herself out.
Right. Sorry. This is almost like it's hard. It's terrifying, honestly. I'm just struggling to take it all in. Fuck. Well, what can we even do?
I honestly just wanted to make sure you guys were aware. I don't think it's smart or safe for us to be holding things back on our side. Also, I'm sure Stakes would have made mention at some point, but I wanted you to hear it from me as well. As far as what to do, we gain information, but until then, we have no means of going after something like that. It took out 3 seps at once, and even all of us together not combat ready to deal with something like that. What we can do is make sure that there's no, I guess, following or residual that comes this direction. Keeping an eye out, but right now we need to focus on what's happening with Piney Point. And I know that's frustrating. It's frustrating all the way around. I'd love to do something about it as well. We just don't have the manpower or the information as of yet.
you're right. We definitely don't have the manpower to deal with this at the moment. But what steps are we taking to protect the area? Protect the cairn. What are we doing to prepare? Because if we're not preparing, then and we're just kind of putting this to the wayside, then there's no reason for us to have learned any of this information.
Yeah, are we like almost practically invisible? Like, are we able to be found by these fucking terrifying nightmares of nature?
There's always the potential of being able to be found. The black spirals don't work in the same parameters that we do, but I can tell you that Charles is great at his job, so the cairn is secure. If you guys would be more comfortable in the cairn, staying at the cairn, I know we have a few places you guys could stay, if that were to make your pack more comfortable, but I don't want to make it a mandatory thing. As far as the Umbra, it is being monitored. I hope to be talking to, well, my patron to see what information they might have, as well as speaking with Matthias, that to see what information he can get from up north as the aftermath, or if there's any sites of movement on that front.
I might be able to help reinforce the cairn a little bit. There's a rite that I know that can make it a pretty terrifying place for outsiders to try and get into. If that would help at all.
Anything helps at this point. I think Charles would love more security around the cairn.
Okay. I'll get in touch with him and figure out how we can best do it.
So right now, there's no real plan, like going forward at the moment. And I'm not saying that in a demeaning way. I'm just trying to say it into words, put it into words. Don't really have a plan. It's just stay still, be more aware, and just tighten our defenses. And then once we can deal with some of the situations that we have, we'll start planning. Is that what the current situation is?
Aspen will nod slightly, partially. I think right now, when it comes to what happened at the mines, it's information gathering. There's no way of movement if we don't have the information we need, or any information for that matter. It would be going into something blind with no power at all. It would be a suicide mission going in blind. So right now it's information gathering, and I'm going to do everything I can to figure out more information on what was happening and what had happened. But for now, we do need to focus on what's happening here as well, because we can't let that fall away and pursue this and only this. That wouldn't be smart, and it wouldn't be, well, it would be a losing battle at that point.
It's understandable. But I would love to be able to help gather any information. Like, if you guys are planning something, could I be a part of it? Because I want to help solve and deal with this in any way that I can.
Of course, I plan to keep you all informed. That's part of the reason I wanted to have full disclosure on what I know so far. Anything that you guys can think of, information-wise, would be helpful, as long as it's not something that would be a detriment to the cairn or your pack or to the sept. I'm open to it. I know this is something close to your pack, and I want to rectify it, but I need the information to do so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Just from the little information you just gave us. So that's honestly saying something.
I think
we're so cooked.
I think acting on anything in that way should be ran through the elders, just because we don't want to get eyes on us with us looking into things. If we're looking into them, there's a more likely chance that they'll know we're looking into them, which becomes problematic on our side. So if there's any help or thoughts you have in this area, I would run it through the elders, through Charles or myself, and we can work through what we need to work through.
I understand.
Yeah, I hear you. You said that there's a project you want my help with. Is that related to this?
Not exactly. It's more related to the piney point of it all.
Okay.
Before we get to that, though, I just want to make it absolutely clear that I want to rectify this. I want to get this figured out for you all. And I don't say that lightly.
I mean, I'm sure when I say this, I speak for everyone, but we appreciate it. I know this is not something that, like, you guys technically have to really even deal with. I mean, yeah, the Black Spiral Lancers are constantly a problem. And if they're moving in mass like this, then they could be a problem for you down the line. But the current situation, technically you guys aren't really attached to it. So I appreciate it greatly that you're willing to work, try and rectify this.
We're all attached to it.
Sure.
She looks down at the table, looks back up at Ray like she wants to say something else, but she just leaves it alone for now. To the project, looks over to Juniper.
Right. Yeah. The project. What do you need me to do?
So, before Lucas left, he was working on something for us. I assume you were informed about the plant wolf. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are working to get rid of that. That's our first step, is to take care of the giant plant wolf situation. And Lucas was working on molds and things to make a spear for that. And unfortunately, Lucas is no longer able to help with that.
Okay.
And I've seen your work around the cairn, and you've actually helped him get things done a few times, in spite of himself. So I think you would be perfect to help us if you'd be willing.
I mean, I'm definitely willing to help out. I don't have much experience in the way of crafting a spear, especially one that can defeat a fucking abomination like that thing is. But I mean, yeah, I can give it a try. I can figure it out, probably. Maybe.
And Lucas left a few things to help you with the project, with building it. Of course, he's already made the molds. She slides those over, at least started them. But I trust you, and I've seen your work, and it's impeccable. And I think who better to do this than you?
I stare down at the molds, and my eyes just kind of widen at the weight of responsibility that this is bringing. I just kind of figured that I would always be treated like a ticking time bomb by everybody. So being given this trust and finally seemingly being treated like just a person, just another member of this sept is well, I'm feeling very grateful about it. And I will gently pick up the molds and nod more to myself than anybody else and look back up at Aspen before saying, "Wow, yeah, okay. I got this." Did Lucas happen to like leave any instructions or anything along with the molds?
I can scour through the stuff that he left. There's a few things in his workshop. Anything that's related to this, I can get to you ASAP, as soon as possible, to help you with whatever you need. And if you need anything from us while you're working on this, just let us know.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, will do. Um, okay. Well, this just changes my plans a little bit. Uh, nothing, nothing crazy. I'm just, adding this now. So, yeah. Uh, thank, thank you for trusting me with this. It means a lot. You can tell that I'm just getting really flustered at this point.
Aspen will smile. Really, it's thank you. We need your help, and we need you guys here more than ever. So I really appreciate that you guys are helping us the way you are.
Yeah, I mean, much rather would be here than up in Michigan right now.
She nods and like looks to see that, like to see if this is a joke or if this is like something else.
Sorry, was that too soon? I tend to make jokes at the worst times.
I just didn't want to laugh if it wasn't a joke. That's all.
Okay.
And she smiles.
Yeah, this is the time where you laugh. This is the point right here. Right, Ray? Laugh at the joke.
I'll just stay like stone faced at the joke. So, and I'll just look at Juniper. Yeah, it's funny.
Well, anything that you guys need from us. I know you have your big project. You're looking into the leech zombie plant abomination. So anything you need from me before I let you guys kind of go off and make a spear, save the world?
On the top of my head, specifically from you in the current situation, I can't really think of anything. We've been talking with Charles and Artie and getting everything that they've investigated previously together. And then any help that we've needed so far, they've been able to kind of assist because they've been working on it. But I can't really think of anything. But if something does come up, we'll definitely ask if we do need your help.
And I will be coming back and forth quite a few times over the next couple of weeks for sure about this. But like right now, yeah, I just from what you said, we're basically cooked, but we're gonna keep trying because it's all we can do at this point.
We're not cooked. We just need more information. Dire straits is kind of our thing, but we always come out of it. I know that's easier to say to you than seeing it firsthand, but we're not as cooked as it may appear.
Yeah, I'm well, either way, I'll just keep moving forward and we'll see what happens.
And if you decide as a pack that you would feel safer in the cairn, we can make arrangements for that. Just let us know.
We will. Was there anything else that you needed to discuss with us?
She'll take a longer look at Ray. She goes to speak, stops, catches herself. I think you and I should go out, do the leader thing. What do you think?
Kind of stare back at Aspen. Like right now or sometime down the line. Because, you know, we are a little bit busy.
Sometime down the line. I wouldn't drop all of these bombs on you and then expect you to want to hang out and be buddy-buddy, so.
Fair. Yeah, we can do that down the line.
I just look back and forth between the two of you. Just furrow my eyebrows and know that there's something juicy between you guys. And I want to know so bad, but I remain mature. And I do not say anything.
So as the group parts ways with new assignments and a lot more new information, what's going through your minds after this conversation with Aspen? Juniper, we'll start with you.
Out of all of the things that Aspen could have asked me to help with, this is probably the most unexpected thing. Helping forge a weapon that is going to take out this giant plant wolf monster abomination thing is a hell of a lot of weight on my shoulders, and I'm already stressed trying to make sure that no one is going off and doing something crazy. And now that we know about what happened at the sept, or up in the mines with all the septs even more, there's a lot of anxiety that is starting to creep in. With all the work that I've been doing to ease my anger and get a grip on life, it's making more room for fear to start creeping in. And all of this is getting very, very, very real very fast. And when this first started and my family was murdered, I just beelined it for Pentex, and I hyper focused on Pentex. But this is clearly so much more and so much deeper than probably even Pentex knows about. And it's just like, it's a reality check. And even I'm starting to be like, I don't know. I don't know if I can handle all of this. So, a lot of complex emotions, a lot of apprehension, but still no real choice but to move forward and do the best I can.
And Raymond.
The information that Aspen gave for the whole Rick situation and what happened up in Michigan, it fills in a little bit more of the blanks, but it doesn't really help much. Like, sure, we have a little bit more information. Sure, like, we're going to shore up defenses. We're going to, come up with a plan later down the line, but feels like a hurry up and wait situation. And I don't really want to do that, but if I don't do that, I'll be throwing away everything I tell my packmates not to do. So, for the moment, I will listen, and hopefully, as this mission progresses and we figure out how to deal with and finally deal with this zombie plant leech, we'll have something to go on and we can start making progress on this, because I need to make progress on this. I really do.
With that, we transition to our next scene. There have been a lot of feelings felt by these two individuals over the past few weeks. Feelings of unfelt mourning, feelings of pain, feelings of loss, feelings of stress and struggle. But they have a job to do, a very important task assigned to them by the Sept. And with Sean and Stakes feeling well enough to tend to themselves, to move about a little bit more, Delphine decides she wants to go investigate something that her spirit companion had seen on one of the outings. A smoking ruin of a freshly destroyed hive, but not destroyed in the same way other hives were destroyed. This one was very unusual. So, taking Forged along with her, as the rule states, the two of them hit the road, heading out of town, eventually tracking down the location of the hive she had been told about or witnessed several days prior. This particular hive is a bit off the beaten path, not necessarily in a field or a farmland, but actually just in a open kind of plain of land about 700 or 800 yards away from a gas station that is on the corner of two streets, enough off the road that it wouldn't be easily located or seen, but close enough to show that they are encroaching more and more on civilization. As you pull off the road and begin to walk out to the field, the scene is yours.
Delphine will be looking around with her number senses just already queued up. And she'll glance back at Forged. So the spirit I talked to said that there was some weird, like, smoking ruin thing out here, and I thought it's something a little more out of place compared to the other hives, so I thought we could just check it out real quick before checking in with everyone else.
You see Forge is standing there, one hand a shovel, the other hand an open bag of Takis. As he just looks confused for a moment, he'll say, "You have a spirit?"
Yeah. I don't bring her up a lot, but it's a little owl spirit, just a tiny one. She looks like a little elf owl. They fit in the palm of your hand. That's how tiny they are, but her name's Gilfie. I asked her if she could fly out and just check things for anything weird, or for if there were more of a concentration of the hives in one spot than others.
Huh. Neat. Didn't it like a pet or something? I didn't know you could have like spirit homies. Like, I thought you only even have like patrons.
No, she's not a pet. She's an ally. She helps me from time to time. If she asks me to do something, I'll help her, obviously, but it's like a mutual understanding sort of thing. We help each other. We're on the same side.
I just didn't know. I mean, some of the spirits we talked to were pretty fucking dumb, so I didn't know if it was one of those like real dumb spirits or, something that has a little bit.
Gilfie's not dumb.
I didn't say Gilfie was dumb. I was like those weird. You remember that camera back in Michigan? We constantly have to talk to it, and it just kept saying the same things over and over again, or like those spiders things. Like those are pretty stupid.
It's not that they're stupid. It's just that we don't understand. They think think differently than we do. They interpret things differently than we do. No spirit, no person is dumb. They just, well, some people are dumb, but like not all spirits are dumb. They just work differently, and you just got to figure out how they work. I'm still trying to figure that part out. Like, I mean, I couldn't figure out the cameras in Michigan. You were able to figure that out a lot faster than I was.
Oh, I mean, you did a decent job there. And look, I'll be honest. Usually people saying, what?
You don't have to make me feel better. I know I'm not good at talking.
I was never saying that you were, I know that you're not good at talking, but you did a decent enough job at least trying to figure it out. You know spirits a lot more than I do. And just saying, usually when people say they think differently, that's just a nice way of saying they're dumb.
I mean, I think you think differently from me, but I don't think you're dumb, so that's not true.
Agree to disagree. How about that?
Fair. Let's go check this out then.
Both of you roll me a wits and investigation as you approach the site.
Do I get my rat bonus of looking for something lost or overlooked?
Sure.
Yay. And what's our rage at?
I would say you're both at a rage 2 at the moment. Tensions are still high after everything that's happened, and yeah.
I got 3 successes.
I got 4 with a crit.
So, Delphine, as you are looking through to the Umbra at the same time as looking at the world itself, the most immediate thing you notice is something completely unfamiliar at locations like this. There's no corruption. Not on the ground, not under the ground, not on the other side whatsoever. This has all the makings of a hive, and from what you've experienced in your investigations previously, the corruption can be felt under the ground from where they've nested. But here there's nothing. The other side is seemingly completely fine. Now, Forged, with a little bit more of an attentive eye to only one side, something that stands out to you is that there is a pile of ash burned away. But there are no bones, there are no bodies, just this pile of ash. And even stranger than that, the ground beneath it isn't burned. In fact, there are no burns anywhere in the area whatsoever. The ground has been disturbed, as is often the case from when these things rise up and settle, but there is no scorch marks on the grass itself. The other thing that catches your eye is the glint of a bullet casing.
You'll see. Is the bullet casing like in the ash or is it nearby?
It's nearby in the grass.
You'll see Forge seeing the ground, I imagine not looking so terrible, will just drop the shovel off to the side and his bag of chips as he'll walk over and squat by the ashes, looking over for a second before catching that glint as he'll walk over, bend down and pick it up, kind of examining it in the light as he'll say, hey Delphine, this last one I went to was all fucked up and burnt. This one is all fine. All I see is that little pile of ash there and bullet. He'll kind of show it towards Delphine.
Yeah, Delphine will have been looking around very confused at the just everything about the umbral side and the physical side of the lack of corruption thereof. But this once Forge brings to attention the bullet, she'll turn towards him and look at it for a moment before reaching out, and she's gonna take it in her hand. I would like to use Sight from Beyond if I am allowed to.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Ooh, that is 6 with a crit.
As you take the bullet casing into your hand and focus on it, rolling it between your fingers, examining it as best as possible, you are greeted by a flash of brilliant white light that almost blinds you at first. As you try to shield your eyes, the light starts to settle, taking the shape of an individual ringed in light. Only a silhouette can be seen standing amidst the light. It's hard to make out any features. They appear to have a hood over their head. You also see the bullet leaving a scorching pile of burning ash. But the fire is unlike any other fire you've seen before. Not red flames, but pure white hot flames. The bullet then retreats back to a gun that appears to be a 9mm pistol with a silencer on it. Continuing to stare at the bullet, at the white hot fire, at the vision, you feel a strange warmth wash over you, almost like a comforting warmth of a blanket wrapped around your shoulders. And then it starts to burn. You feel your skin starting to tingle and burn. You feel like it's blistering underneath the white hot flames. Looking up again, your eyes widened with panic. You see the figure in the flames, surrounded by the white hot light. And their eyes are glowing brilliantly with an almost holy fury, as if they can see straight through into your soul. Let this world be cleansed, a female voice says. And then the vision ends as the pain becomes almost unbearable from the flames burning at your skin.
I think Delphine will, because it felt so real, she will have reacted yelping in pain almost, throwing the bullet to the side and just backing away from it as much as possible, and just like patting herself down as if the flames were still on her.
You see Forge like step forward, not concerned, like doesn't even look at the bullet you throw back, like throw away, but just kind of like puts an arm like around you to like at the more a little bit comforting of a way, to like seeing that you started patting yourself down, just goes along with it, starts patting different like your arm, and just saying, "Yo, what happened? You good?"
She's a little panicked, shaky, just her eyes shut closed as if they were still dazzled by the brilliant light and having a hard time seeing. She'll just shake her head. Whoever shot that, something's wrong with them. They're not normal.
You need anything? You good? Like, are they hurting you now?
She's trying to take deep breaths to steady herself, but it's a struggle, because that was honestly very scary. That one of the scarier visions that she's ever had, and she'll try to open her eyes as best she can, still kind of a little bleary-eyed, looking at him. I was fucking covered in fire, but like white fucking fire. There was a person, they're the ones, they shot the bullet, and there was the ash, it turned it into ash, the bullet, and I don't know what it was, but it was weird, and it was it fucking still feels like my skin's on fire.
C4 looks a little concerned as he doesn't quite know what to do. They'll just kind of look around, and I mean, white flame, that probably not the craziest thing around here, and seemed like it did the trick. I mean, there's nothing wrong here. No weird dirt or, fucked up anything.
Yeah, that's not normal, Forged. None of them, this is the first one that hasn't looked like the others. Something weird went down at this place specifically.
Isn't that good? Shouldn't we be happy about this?
It hurt, Forged. Whatever these people are, they can hurt us. I don't know what they are, but they can hurt us. They can hurt these things. They can hurt us. Their stuff works. It was not natural fire.
Well, let's take a moment to chill out. Kind of. Like, do you need some water? You have some water in the car. I can grab that, but it's like I think that if they cleansed this like place and made it okay, I don't know. Whatever. Hold on. And I start walking away to go into the car to grab some water and come back to give it to Delphine.
Yeah, easily enough. You return. You've been doing more and more of these trips out here and knowing to pack supplies, especially for you who gets snacky pretty easily. So you grab a bottle of water, returning to Delphine. Delphine, the fire, the burning sensation has subsisted, but you do still have a slight tingle across your skin.
She'll take the water once Forge brings it and drink a little bit of it down, and just will be constantly rubbing her arms a little bit. She'll look at Forge. Feels like I fucking have sunburn. Like a really bad sunburn.
I didn't know those weird vision things could leave you fucked up like that.
They can scare me. They can feel very real. This one's felt the most real. I've never been fucking surrounded by fire like that before. That one was different.
So you think these person, are bad? They're not, shouldn't be happy for them or, working with them?
She pauses and thinks for a moment, trying to dissect the vision as much as possible. I don't know. I only really saw one shape more clearly. Like it was wearing a hoodie. I think it was a woman. I don't know though. It was a feminine voice. And they were saying something about letting the world be cleansed.
Okay, I'm less on board now. Usually people that say that are pretty fucking crazy, so.
She'll nod.
So we got weird, probably crazy, potentially chick going around, I guess, burning these things out. But if they can, that means that probably if we can find out how they did it, I mean, sounds like we can really work towards fixing these things. I mean, can't just let them stay corrupted, right?
She'll settle a little bit more, getting used to the sting, like the almost sunburn like sting of the sensation across her skin, and she'll stand up and look around a little bit, nodding. We know that iron works. We know. I don't know what they're doing, but I think this is something this could be, if we find out what they did, maybe Jace, maybe Eliza can try to look into its spirit side a little bit more. They know a little bit more than me. They know a lot more than me, let's be real, but they know what happened here, and we can potentially find another avenue of dealing with the spore zombies other than just iron and regular fire.
Let's see. As you were talking, as soon as you mentioned Eliza and Jace probably being a lot smarter than me, just you see Forge just get a little bit of a frown, as when you finish up, he'll say, it gets a little annoying when you just kind of keep talking down on yourself all the time like that. No one, like, I get it, but like, bro, look, you don't need to be talking down on yourself like that. All right.
She'll look at him and she'll just, I'm not trying to talk down on myself. Eliza's been around a long time. Jace has been around longer than me. They might know what this could be. I don't know what it is.
No, you're talking down on yourself. You didn't need to say that part. I already know that they are pretty fucking smart. So either you think I'm dumb or you think you're dumb. So look, I get it, man. Like I said, I know shit's been tough lately, but like let's cool on that, okay?
She'll look at him a little confused, but will nod. All right, I won't talk crap about myself. Again, I don't think I was, but it's fine. Never mind. This therapy? Is this
No,
really
not getting therapy. It's just, it brings the vibe down. Like it just gets it gets depressing. And also it just, like, bro, you're not bad at what you fucking do. Okay. It just, it's when someone says something that's constantly wrong all the time, talk down on themselves, it's not really cute. Not really, fun to be around.
I'm not trying to be cute.
I'm not saying that in a way that you're trying. You know what? Never mind. Look, just stop saying that shit, okay? I'm not asking that much from you. I'm just saying stop talking down, like saying that kind of shit. It's not that hard.
In Delphine's mind, she is thinking to herself that this is probably something he's picked up going to that therapy that isn't therapy. It's just him trying to hook up with some hot chick. But she'll just nod and, okay, I won't talk down to myself anymore.
You'll look at you for a second before, seemingly satisfied, he'll nod. He'll walk over to the bullet casing and that you threw. He'll pick it up again as you'll. Is there anything I can like discern that like look different than a normal bullet casing, or is it
on the surface, just examining it? No, it looks like a standard bullet casing.
As I'll walk up back over to Delphine with it, like kind of still looking at it. I'll say, the bullet looks normal, so probably wasn't some special super bullet from how it was made or anything. So you think it's like supernatural bullshit power?
Maybe. Like I said, I don't know. That's why we should take it back to the SAP. We need to see if someone might, like, if I tell them what I saw, maybe someone might know what it could be in relation to.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. He'll put it in his pocket as he'll take like a little look around one more time, kind of. You think anything else we can pick up from out here? I mean, how long it's been since you were told about this place?
Gilfie told me about it right before we had to deal with everything with Stakes and Sean coming back. And so I've known about it for a little bit, but well, I mean, I was paired up with Ray, but she sighs a little bit and just shakes her head. I don't want to bug him right now with Red passing.
I mean, I get it. It's tough, but I mean, Ray's pretty resilient. You know, I'm pretty sure he'd rather know about this kind of thing, and they're always talking about sharing information and how we all need to know, be on the same page, blah blah blah. But
I know. I'm gonna tell Ray. I'm gonna tell everyone about this. I'm gonna tell Aspen. We're gonna tell people. I didn't want to drag him out here while he's grieving.
I think we have a little bit of a different image of him. I think that's exactly what he wants, to be honest. Seems like I know kind of guys like that once shit gets tough, they like to dig their head into their work and focus on what they're doing. Seems like that type to me more than anything.
I mean, that's not exactly healthy, but all he's doing is really repressing emotions that are probably building up beneath the surface before he blows up.
Who's been seeing therapy? Sounds like you've learned that yourself.
No, I'm not going to a therapist, Forged.
He'll give a sly grin to that. He'll laugh to himself a little bit. So, but I mean, it may not be the healthiest thing, but we each have our own shit that we do that isn't the healthiest, so I don't see why exactly it's a huge problem. Only blows up on the people that we got to beat up. That's the only, kind of thing I care about.
Ray has been dealing with all of our bullshit, and I honestly don't feel like he's had an opportunity to just be sad, so I'm gonna just let him be sad. I honestly think if he wants to get a good cry in, that might be good for him.
I mean, fair, but bro, he's a grown ass man. He can decide if he needs that moment to cry or not. I mean, all you've done is just essentially taken the choice away from him, which, I mean, if that's what you think is what's right, I mean, go ahead.
I'm not taking the choice away from him. I just thought I was being considerate of his feelings and I didn't want to bother him.
Look, though, I mean, I get it, dog.
I'm sorry,
I understand.
do you want to go out with Juniper? That must be so fun.
We already had our little mission excursion, and look, it wasn't even half bad, okay? It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but look, I understand where you're coming from here. I'm just letting you know that, like, it's a nice thought, but he was chosen to be in charge of us for a reason. It's kind of his responsibility to do this shit and be able to decide what he's capable of, what he isn't capable of.
Look, okay, why are you giving me the fourth degree right now? Because I doing what he told us to do, which is to go out in pairs, just because I'm trying to let him have a break. I asked you to come with me to do this. Why are you getting all up in my fucking business about it? Why are you dissecting it? I'm just trying to be considerate. I'm trying to do something nice. I'm trying to also follow the orders of our pack leader. What the fuck?
You'll see for a moment, Forge looks frustrated, like he looks like about to be angry. It looks like he's about to get pissed off, but he just inhales sharply, take the deep breath, holds it for a few moments, and just lets it go. As he'll just say, "Look, Delphine, I'm doing this shit because God." He like looks up for a moment, like looks around, just clearly uncomfortable by what he's trying to say here, struggling. As you'll, what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm trying to help out, dog. I just, I'm seeing that you're having, we're all kind of having a tough time, and bunch of the bullshit of like friends holding friends accountable or whatever, or like, giving advice or all that shit. So I'm trying to help out. Okay. I'm not trying to grill you. I'm not trying to piss you off. I'm trying to help. And yeah.
She is going to just sigh a little bit and rub her temple. I thought her whole thing is that we don't give each other the third degree. We just accept the stuff we do. What's changing from that, Forged?
I didn't say I didn't accept it. You can do whatever you want. I'll roll with it, but I'm just telling you what I think. I mean, you know that no matter what you do, I'll have your back. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I just figured I'd try and give a little bit of advice. I mean, you've done that for me. You've gave me a bunch of advice when shit got tough, and figured I repay the debt a little bit. And I'm not quite as good as our guide, our spiritual guidance.
She looks both confused and like a bewildered amusement, and just kind of looks at him like, okay, sure, what advice do you have for me, Forged?
I mean, I was just trying to tell you about, like, hey, maybe you should let the dude know that, hey, like, I think Ray has the capacity to decide that kind of shit on his own if he's ready for that or not. But look, if you don't want to, that's chill. I'm not as good as words with you are, and that's not really my shit.
I literally said I was going to tell him after this. I'm going to let people know. I'm going to let him know. I'm going to let Aspen know. I'm going up the chain of command.
Yeah, fair. I mean, yeah, if that's what you want to do, I'm, like I said, I'm on board with it. Just, and he'll kind of, once again, awkwardly looking around, almost as if he's praying for someone who's better at this than him to show up magically and save him from this awkward ass fucking conversation. But alas, no one does. As he just, I just been noticing you're struggling a lot. I've been noticing you've been kind of, not like you've been sucking or that you've been not a good pack mate, but like shit's weighing you down, dog. It's kind of obvious. And I mean, unfortunately, doesn't seem like you really had a way to resolve any of that bullshit. Nothing's really gotten changed since then, from what I have learned and understood.
No, I have a way to resolve it. It would just require me murdering Juniper and then killing myself.
Yeah. Like I said, there's not a way to resolve it, or at least not been a way to resolve it. So it just seems like you're stuck in the same mire of bullshit, constantly going through it. And let me tell you, I happen to know a lot about being stuck in a mire of bullshit. Though, to be fair, mine with a bit more of my own making. So I had a little bit of an idea, if you want to give me a chance here.
She's getting a little bit annoyed at the whole logic of this conversation, but she will take a deep breath and not try to patronize him or look down on his ideas, and she will look at him and just, what is your idea?
He'll nod as he hypes himself up in his head about this idea that he's been thinking on a little bit, telling him that that's going to work, as he'll put on a little bit of a more of a brave face, a confident face, as he'll say, well, I was thinking, since you're just sitting around not really having any way to resolve this, or having to just constantly sit there and accept it and just hold everything inside, we have a little bit of a sparring match, if you will. Just let that shit out. I want you to throw some punches at me. I want you to tell me the shit that you've been wanting to tell Juniper. Because it's clear you have a bunch of, I'm not gonna lie, clear you have a bunch of anger you want to let out, and you can't. I get that. Juniper would probably whoop your ass, and the rest of the set probably wouldn't approve of whatever you decide to do. So let it out on me.
So your idea is to be a literal punching bag, both physically and emotionally, to all of the shit I'm dealing with the person who murdered my family.
That's about right.
Why do dudes always think that the solution is to just fucking punch each other?
So you're telling me you're not going to do it? You're not going to try?
She's staring at him, and she's not gonna lie to herself that she hasn't thought how just punching Juniper square in the face wouldn't make her feel just a little better. So she'll look at him and just kind of nod. Fine. I'll try it.
He'll just kind of brace himself, stand up, and just essentially present himself as ready for a punching bag, essentially.
Okay. If you're actually going to go through with this, roll a strength and brawl.
I was going to ask, could I potentially, as like my opposing roll, make like a stamina athletics to see how well I can brace against this?
Absolutely.
Much as I want her to get her licks in, I also don't want to die. That's preferable.
Fair.
One of my dice fell on the ground. I will do another one. Okay, I got 3 successes.
I got also 3 successes.
Okay. The punch hits you in the chest, leaving both of you unhurt in the whole affair. Delphine, your fist doesn't hurt that much after hitting him, but it did feel like you hit something solid.
And as she's punching him, she'll just be all like, you're a fucking murderer, and you're a monster. And then she'll, as she's going into swing again, she's going to comment, you didn't help anyone from Pentex when you did this. You just made it worse for everyone fucking affected by them.
Roll again.
And I would like to.
Forge, like, think of, oh my god. Or just thinking of saying something, but just like instead, just she's going off. He's like, okay. He's just almost like encouraging, stepping forward, like towards her, almost like get a better hit.
Okay. Roll your soak dice.
I got another 3.
What'd you get?
I got a crit.
Okay. How many total successes?
4.
Okay.
It's just the.
So this time she hits, and it actually does hurt as you take 1 point of superficial damage as the blow lands in your chest, sending a reverberating thud through you as it makes impact. Not enough to actually break anything or anything like that, but it is going to probably leave a small bruise.
I have to fucking mediate your drama with you murdering them and you fucking being haunted by them. And then they're still trying to fucking control me even past this life. I'm gonna throw another punch.
Go for it.
Forge mentally sitting there thinking, I might have made a mistake. As he's taking these hits, it's starting to hurt more and more.
This was 1 success, so I think this next one's not gonna be just fine.
That's 4.
Yeah, this time as you punch at his chest, your hand hurts like hitting a brick stone wall. It sends just painful shocks up your arm.
So now everyone is up on my ass about the fucking drugs. They act like they give a shit about me, but they don't fucking do. They're all, and then everyone else that's supposed to be responsible for us is treating us like we're fucking kids with no emotional stamina whatsoever, and they're just a few years fucking older than us. I'm gonna punch again.
Another roll.
It's like 1 success. I'm not strong, guys. To the audience watching, I'm not built for this, but we're doing it.
Just a little 3 successes.
Okay, again, like hitting a stone wall, but you seem to be on a roll, so you're not letting it phase you, although do take a physical point of superficial damage as your fists are starting to bruise and welt.
Yeah, and I feel like she's just starting to just get emotionally burdened, both physically and spiritually, by just everything that she's been holding in. So when she does go to just do that this last punch, she's feeling she doesn't even fully go in. She's just like kind of just like tapping on his chest with the side of her fist, and she's just commenting, just tears in her eyes, and everyone fucking expects me to just move on from this like it's fucking easy. But if I move on, that's it. It's over, and I can't hold on to them anymore. They're fucking gone.
At this point, like the fist hitting me in the chest, a bit sore right now, I will finally reach up and grab her arm. Not very hard, just kind of soft enough just to stop it, as I will just pull her in for a hug, just a big bear hug. As I won't say anything just yet, just providing that space for her to talk, space for her to just essentially let this drain of emotion just go until there's nothing left.
And at this point, she's not even able to form words anymore, just because the hug caught her off guard. And it's the thing that she didn't realize she needed. In this whole time that she's been struggling, not once has she been offered any physical comfort. So with the arms around her, she kind of just finally lets go. Her body is shaking, and she is just sobbing nonstop, just wailing, feeling every hurt that she's been feeling finally just safe for once, feeling comforted, like someone actually fucking cares how she's feeling for once.
And Forge is sitting there almost a little surprised. This is something he's never really done for people before. He's always anytime someone started to break down, started to get more sad, he would just leave. It was not his problem. He never cared. He just was there for the good times and not the bad, not the downs. So for once actually being there and being the one to help provide comfort feels strange. It feels alien, but it does feel good to be able to help someone in that kind of way. Always thinking that he was someone who could only provide physical support, like beating something up or doing, manual labor, but to provide emotional support and actually do it is another thing entirely. As he just kind of knows right now is not really the time for words, as he will just keep hugging her. And the only thing he'll just say is, it's all right.
After just a little, like a while of crying, she just is at a point where she's not like just full body sobbing anymore. No, they're like the shakes have kind of gone down a little bit. There's still some sniffling and some whimpering, but it's subsided just greatly. And she'll just shake her head. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to move past this.
Delphine, roll me a wisdom and resolve.
Would I still be at 2 rage?
I'll let you go down to 1 after that, outburst.
Did you say wisdom and resolve or composure?
I said wisdom.
That's not a bad dice pool for me, so let's see. That's 4 successes.
Okay. You may continue.
Yeah, she'll just... I don't know how to move past this. I don't know how I'm supposed to just help her. I don't know how I'm supposed to just move on from this, because it's not easy. I don't... She just... I don't know how to deal with loss.
Right, it isn't easy. And to be honest, your situation is a really tough one. I can kind of understand it. And at least know that you don't have to help her alone. And that at least we're here to help you too. You don't have to always be the one helping others. You have yourself to worry about too. And it's okay not to know what to do next. You just gotta find out the next step to take. And we can do that together. You don't have to do it alone.
She'll take in everything she's saying, nodding a little bit. She'll, after crying as much as she has, she'll be chugging the water a little bit that he gave her earlier. I need help, Forge. I really do. I don't know how to... I'm not good at this stuff.
I'll be honest, Delphine, I don't think any of us are good at this stuff, even the SEP leadership, but we can do it together. You know, you have my help. And I know Ray will help out as well. And rest of the SEP leadership, you know, Eliza is always willing to be there for you to help. I mean, you stuck around with me and all my bullshit. At least I can do is stick around with whatever you're going through.
I feel like your bullshit was a lot easier to deal with than this.
He'll hear that and think back to his own situation, and he frowns a moment before kind of recomposing himself, knowing that right now he needs to be strong for Delphine right now. He can't fall to his insecurities, his own worries right now. There's someone else who needs him. So he'll respond. Yeah, I mean, still got some shit we're dealing with, but I mean, maybe it's just through your efforts, huh? You helping out made things easy.
She'll sniffle a little bit and look at him. Sorry, I'm not trying to say that your stuff wasn't hard for you. It just, it matters in terms of me dealing with it. It's easy to be the one supporting someone else, but actually having to make the conscious effort to do something that every fiber of my being is telling me not to do because I want to stay angry and vindictive a little bit. It's a lot easier to be mean than forgiving.
Forge will chuckle to himself as he'll say, "Trust me, out of all people you could talk to about that, I get that. I understand. You had to drag me kicking and screaming in order to help get me better. And tell you, I did not want to do any of that. In fact, most of the stuff I do still is hard, but it's been better. It's been nice, you know, for gee, this is gonna sound, and please don't tell anyone else I said this. The first time it feels like I actually found a place where I kind of belonged, you know?
She'll nod a little bit. Actually jealous of you. That must be a nice feeling.
Well, I suck getting here. And it's hard. Every step has been hard, I won't lie, but it was made a lot easier, you know, you guys sticking around even though I kept telling you all the fuck off. So it's our turn now for you.
She'll wipe her face off with the edge of her sleeves. Kind of just look over at the car. Can we go back, please?
Yeah, we can head back. He'll just kind of like guide her along to the car, walking with her, make sure, support her.
As you head back to the car, supporting her along the way, Forged, with one step, you feel a crunch underneath your footfall.
I lift up my foot to see what I stepped on.
Beneath your foot and even sticking into the bottom of your shoe are several glass shards. It looks like to be the size of about a salt shaker.
I will look confused as I kind of like let go of Delphine, push her away a little bit as I'll kneel down, looking at my shoe and this glass, confused as what the hell is this?
As you look down, yeah, it's about the size of a salt shaker. It looks like it doesn't have a top or a cork on it at all, but it's a bunch of shattered pieces at the moment. As you further examine, are you touching it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll pick up any bits and pieces, just wondering, what is this?
As you go to pick up the glass, the moisture on the surface of the glass burns like fire as you touch it. Take 1 point of aggravated damage as you feel your skin blister and burn suddenly.
Forge like takes up for like a split second, and then you just see, fuck, and he'll just throw it away a little bit. God, shit, fucking hell, that burned.
Delphine will glance, was about to get in the car, but like glances back when he says something and just heads on over to him. And is it obvious that he's got blisters right now?
Oh yeah, his hand is like burned really badly, especially on the fingertips.
Does it look like the blisters in my vision?
I mean, similar, like it's a burn blister, so yeah, effectively.
She'll carefully like inspect his hands, and I will administer Mother's Touch.
Sure.
I will try.
So does my rage technically go up?
Oh yeah.
I think it matters for Mother's Touch. So I'm at 3 rage.
I rolled 3 successes, so that's not over, so it won't heal it aggravated.
No. If anything, the pain numbs a little bit, but the blisters are still very much there.
Okay. She'll frown as she looks at the healing that she's doing and seeing that it's not really doing much to subside the blisters and the burn wound, and she'll frown. What did you touch? What happened?
I stepped on something. It was like a salt shaker without a top. It was a small glass thing, and I squatted down to see what the hell I stepped in. Touched the glass. Next thing I know, this shit burned the fuck out of my fingers. God damn.
She'll go look and inspect, not touching, but she will like look over the glass. Do I see like moisture on it and everything?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you're looking down at it, it's not too much, but it looks like there's probably like almost like condensation on the inside of it.
She'll furrow her brow and, do you still have that bag of Takis?
He'll like perk up. Oh shit! If he'll like run over to where he left the shovel and Takis and pick them up and run back over. He like holding both of them in one hand because his other hand's burnt, so it just runs over, hands it over to you.
She will start dumping out the Takis.
What are you doing?
And once the Takis are out of the bag, she will kind of do the dot, like the pooper scooper.
He did give you a shovel, so you could just shovel it up and dump it in too.
Either way, Either way, she's trying to make sure to get the glass into the Takis bag without touching it.
Yeah, using the bag would probably risk cutting the bag because it is sharpened glass shards now after being stepped on. So using the shovel, you scoop up the little bit of dirt beneath it and pour it into the bag.
Yeah, and she'll roll up the bag as you do with a bag of chips to keep them fresh in the cupboard and look at him. Do you want me to drive since your hand's all burnt? I think we really need to show this to people.
No, I can drive with one hand. It's Fine, just fucking hell. You got aloe
mean, you're
vera
not
at home?
Yeah, we got aloe at home, but I mean, you're not supposed to drive with one hand, but I guess it's fucking Florida, so you might as well.
So with that, the two of you return to the vehicle with the newly gained evidence from the scene, a bullet casing and some broken glass in a Taki's bag. How are you feeling after this investigation and this conversation with one another? Delphine, we'll start with you.
Delphine honestly feels both grateful for Forged, but also proud of him in a way, because she's seen where he started and she's seen where she sees where he's at now, and it's not, they've known each other exactly a year now, and this is not the same person that she met with Ray that night in the bar, who called her Skeletor and who called Ray Soldier Boy and who was just an overall douchebag named Deadbeat. This is not Deadbeat anymore. This is Forged by Failures, and he is their Arun, not just in physical conflict, but also in emotional conflict. He's their protector. He keeps all of them safe, and she is grateful for him.
And Forged.
Forged had the kind of a couple different emotions coming in right now. He does feel the smallest amount of a little bit of embarrassment. This is not something he normally does, especially opening up in that way and what he describes as so cheesy. He's not used to being corny, so it feels slightly embarrassing, but it does feel nice to be there for someone to help them in that kind of way. And, always considered himself just as an Arun, a destroyer, the guy who goes in to break shit, and that is his job. But now he finally feels like he sort of understands now a little bit more that it's not just that, and especially the whole, like when he's getting told that Aruns are protectors, he's understanding a little bit what that actually means and being able to help his pack get through the shit they've gone through, especially with helping him when they helped him with his own. It feels really good. He doesn't quite know how to put words to this, as he will feel a small inkling of also pride in himself and in Delphine for being able to get those emotions out, and also for landing a decent punch. Was kind of surprised by that.
So with a bruised sternum and a burned hand, Forged moves to the driver's seat, Delphine to the passenger seat, and you climb into the van and begin the drive back home. We all need something to lean on from time to time, sometimes physically, sometimes emotionally. Who would have guessed, after all this time, Forged would be that something to lean on? With that, we go to break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the second half of tonight's story.
St. Petersburg by Night is brought to you through collaboration with our partnered vendors, Dramatic Creations, Panchi Artista, Ember Fox Dice, Devlin the Bard, Champs Tramps, Howlin' Hop Tea. Links to our partnered vendors as well as our Twitch and YouTube channels can be found on our website, stpetebynight.com. You can follow SPbN on all socials with the hashtag StPeteByNight. If you wish to support our program, you can do so at ko-fi.com/StPeteByNight to help keep the stories rolling.
As we return in the second half, the pack is reassembled. Not at the cairn, not out at the field, but at home, for once. As Raymond has called everyone together, along with Stakes, as she has finally come home and started to settle back into her routine, albeit slightly different with this new disability that she has. But now, finally, they can discuss everything they've learned, all the investigative tips they've found, all the clues. Maybe they can make some headway on their mission, and maybe they can make some headway on the problems that are still lingering between them. So here we find everyone gathered in the house. The scene is yours.
So, got any bullshit we're gonna talk about now? Any fun, crazy news?
I wouldn't say fun news, but there's two things we got to talk about. One's obviously the mission. We got to compile what we've all gathered. You know, we spent some time investigating. We all went off on our separate ways in pairs to figure stuff out. So what we learned, we got to share so we can take the next step. But I think the first thing we got to talk about is some things I learned from Stakes and a little bit from Aspen about what happened up there. I don't know, Stakes, if you want to talk about it, or I can just give a small rundown.
Stakes clears her throat and sits up a little bit. Actually, yeah, I can talk about it. Obviously, a lot happened up in Michigan. It's going to take some time to sort it all out. But I wanted to answer any questions any of you might have and tell you what happened, because I do think you deserve to know. And I'm sorry that I haven't said anything sooner. It's been a hard time adjusting to everything. And I wanted to make sure that Aspen knew, as the Sept leader, as much as I could tell her. And then I was going to tell all of you. Protocol. So, effectively, we were ambushed midway through the mission by a literal army of Black Spiral dancers. I couldn't even count how many. Of course, I'm not that great at counting to begin with, but more than I have fingers and toes. They came in from all sides around the mine, and they seized an opportunity to take us out. We were already slightly wounded. We're stuck in the canyon. They had planned for this assault. They knew we were going to be there. They knew how many we had, approximately, and they overwhelmed us. Sean and I got trapped in the mines, which in its own way was fortunate and unfortunate, because it means that we couldn't help the others, but it also may have saved our lives. I was stuck in a cave-in after some explosions went off in the mine. Sean was trapped by some of the rubble that fell from that cave-in. I don't know how long it was after I had lost consciousness, but we were both very badly hurt. And with the inability to heal, as we do, we had to find other solutions. The solution we chose was fire to stop the bleeding. So we burned each other. I had to chew through Sean's arm to get him free, and then burned the wound closed. And then we hid for days, and eventually slowly started to make our way out. And when we were able to get out, it was obvious what had happened and that everyone was dead. There were so many bodies, including those that they were burning or preparing to burn. The important detail about all of this is Rick, my Sept's Galliard. He had been clearly their informant and was working with them. If anybody was going to know all of the details of the assault, it was Rick. And he would have given plenty of notice to them as to when it was happening, how it was going to happen, and who was going to be there. I'm grateful that none of you were there. I'm grateful that you were all safe. I lost one family. I couldn't bear to lose another. And with everything that's happened, I'd do it all over again if it meant that you were all safe. That being said, I will get my revenge, even if I have to wait for it. There is a threat here and now that needs to be dealt with. A threat that even if we were to go seeking vengeance, could spread and nullify all of that. I know all of you had mixed feelings about your former Sept, but they were my family. And I will miss them. And I will avenge them. Even if it means ripping Rick's fucking throat out with my teeth. Any questions?
Sean's a healer. Why didn't he? Why couldn't he?
He was very badly wounded in the fight, and he couldn't even recover his own wounds well enough to be able to call upon his gifts. And the spirits weren't answering.
Do you know why? Or is that still a mystery?
If I had to guess, it had something to do with the Spiral's presence and the preparations they made. There are ways to block spirits. There are ways to stop them from assisting. They can be held off and held at bay, especially if they had their own spirits or Banes fighting them on the other side.
Are they answering now?
Yes.
Maybe they also knew of a way to cut Giru off from the spirits. I mean, I even know how to do that. It's not unusual that they might have done something similar. Rick probably did it to all of you.
Well, there's also the stones that we saw them digging up. Apparently they had placed these stones around the mine. And something about those stones, whether they're cursed or something, was preventing us from being healed at all, by any means. As long as we were in that canyon, as long as we were in those mines, we weren't going to heal.
So, do you think the stones were what caused it?
Could be. They seemed very intent on retrieving them afterwards.
She'll look contemplatively for a moment. Could it be something a worm spirit knows about?
Possibly.
I haven't
Spirits
spoken
aren't
to one before.
exactly my thing, but you can always try. Not all worm spirits are bad.
I've never spoken to one before, but I could try.
If you're going to do that at the cairn. There are protections there that if it calls upon the wrong spirit or gets out of hand, you can at least be safe in the knowledge that you aren't out in the open.
She'll pause for a moment, but then just nod in agreement.
I need you all
Sure.
to know that this wasn't your fault. There was nothing you could have done before, during, or after, and your presence there would have just gotten you killed. You wouldn't have saved anyone. You wouldn't have stopped them. You would just be amongst the dead. I'm confident in that. Seeing how many there were, seeing how strong they were, 3 septs couldn't stop them. 4 more Guru wouldn't have made the difference. So whatever you're feeling, regret, shame, doubt, don't. This is why I asked you to go. This is why I asked you not to come running. And the possibility that something like this could happen, and it did.
Did Sean let everyone know about my vision, though?
He did.
I then... Were you guys just... Don't
forget we had one amongst us, one to dissuade or dispel any thoughts or rumors. Rick had been our eyes and ears and advance party on this operation. And even though he felt off to me, he kept enough of a distance that I wasn't able to get any more of an idea why.
So we know that Rick's a betraying bastard. Was there anyone else noteworthy? Anyone else that we can put on our to kill list, so to speak?
Told the leadership about their leader, a tall and strong woman, but my primary focus, as should all of our focus be, on Rick. For I doubt we are going to encounter them here. That was a war march. They are going to take out any and all septs in that region. It was an opening salvo. They destroyed a good majority of our Midwest presence, and I believe they're headed for the Sept of Jupiter in Chicago.
Still, wouldn't it be good to know who to look out for? Because at some point, no matter what, we're gonna have to fight them. Whether that be them coming down here, or if things go good enough, we have to fight them. It's inevitable, isn't it? That's kind of our whole point, our whole existence.
Of course. We should prepare and ready ourselves. But we aren't the only ones here. And you are all still very young. That doesn't mean that you can't fight. That doesn't mean you can't kill. But when I tell you that this woman was the most frightening thing I have ever witnessed, I want you to know my meaning. I don't get scared by much. She scared me.
Guess we should just consider ourselves fortunate that we know Rick's involved. He could have just as easily kept playing along. We wouldn't have known any better.
No. I don't believe they thought anyone survived. I don't know if they took any prisoners, but I know they killed. And on our escape and our return, we didn't cross paths with anyone else. Didn't get signal from anyone else.
Are you saying that on your way down, like, the other Seps or Geru that should have been in the area weren't there?
We're gone. All of our forces were at the mine. That was the goal, to make it quick, to make it easy. If anyone had been fleeing, we had plans of escape. We had plans of retreat and a meeting spot. No one was there.
I mean, it wouldn't have mattered anyway if Rick knew everything, like you said. So whatever meeting spot, whatever escape route was probably guarded or compromised immediately. So
You're right.
All I'm hearing is that Juniper and Forge should have trashed his place more.
I was wondering if it was a bad time to say it, but I was gonna say I never actually regretted trashing his place. And now I feel a little bit validated for it.
Yeah, I'm really fucking glad that we did it. Fuck that absolute fucking piece of traitor shit.
Be better. That's what I'd expect them to do. You have to be better. Better than them. They destroyed our home. They destroyed our hope and our chances. Don't let this stop the progress you're making. Being like them, doing what they would do, it will rot you from the inside out. So don't regret what you did, but don't use it as an example of what to do, because it was still wrong. It was still a break of the litany.
I know. It's gotta be the whole better thing. I guess it's the sign that gotta start training a little bit harder. Juniper, you're gonna be free coming up here. Then you know how to hold yourself in a fight pretty well. Seems like we might need to start training.
My eyes widen a little bit and I resist every single urge and deep within the soul of my body to make some quip in this moment. Yeah, I've got some time. I've been picking up some new tricks with Charles too, so I think it would be a good idea. I think it would be a good idea to have some sparring.
See, it looks like he almost dreads thinking about what tricks that Charles have taught you that he's going to have to encounter as he shakes his head, as you'll regret the decision a little bit, but still go through with it.
If you can take anything away from this, it should be this. Appreciate the time you have with your pack. Leave no stones unturned. I trusted Rick with everything I had, as did the others. Secrets between us are what get us killed. You trust each other, or you fall apart. Rick had a lot of secrets, clearly. And it meant the death of our sept.
Anybody has a secret they want to drop now? Be a good time.
One way or another, we're gonna find out about it, so you might as well say it now.
On a serious note, been talking with Ember a little bit, and they done the whole advising bullshit, and so figured I share this. It might be important. And talked about Lilia in a hot minute because she actually decided to leave. She straight up took the kid and fucked off to Michigan, so yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's, you know, I'm not the greatest talker, and I decided to try and tell her that, you know, some shit might go down. Turns out telling someone that usually scares them off, so kind of on me for trying to do the right thing, am I right?
I mean, you did what you thought was right. You did what you did to try and protect her. And I mean, the outcome wasn't what you wanted, but at least you communicated.
Yeah, she's associated with a guru, and now she's in literally where the most conjugated fucking hell march of Black Spider dancers are. You know, it's kind of, I don't think there's anywhere literally worse she could be in besides maybe hell, like literal hell.
I look over.
Go ahead.
I look over at Stakes, and then I look at everybody. Is there anything we can do about that? Should we try and go get her? Like, that's your kid.
Aspen probably doesn't want us leaving the state.
Charles already forbid it, remember? That was a whole thing we had about not being allowed to go up there.
I know, but like, this is your kid we're talking about. This is not just like, you shouldn't, don't go up there. It's more than just that. Like, they just have, they're there and they have full access to your kid.
Have you tried calling her?
No response. Almost ironic, considering that, you know, I was the one that did this to her first, and now it's my turn. But karma, I guess. Yeah, and if I go there, she probably worse for her, because if I go there, then that's a guru going into where, you know, literally they have eyes and ears everywhere to go see her. It's probably better this way. The further she is away from me, and further my kids away from me, the less likely they're going to get hit in the crossfire. Like,
Who knows that you have a kid?
well, clearly someone knew something, because she got here. She knew where I was here. There's no one I know here that would know her, unless Artie or Charles did some bullshit, in which case I will have some worth to share with them. More with Artie than Charles. I know not to test my luck there, but
Artie wasn't here though when she showed up. Artie wasn't back yet.
exactly. So I doubt it was anyone here. So it has to mean that someone else knew something. I don't know. And they knew who my best friend was. They knew I was going to meet with him. They probably know my connection in some capacity. So it's best if they think that there's nothing there anymore.
She pauses for a moment. Do you want me to try to get a hold of her? We went to the same school. I might know some people.
For a moment, Forge really is about to say just no and to deny any help, but thinking of what Ember's been saying and about a lot of what's going on lately, he just let it go and do the toughest thing he could probably think of right now, the most difficult choice here, and say, if that's what you want to do, you can try. I don't know if it will go well, but I would appreciate any help. I can't really do anything on my own, and you all know that Gaia has given me the gifts to whoop ass and not quite, you know, fix my relationship with my baby mama and my kid.
I'll do what I can. I honestly didn't recognize her at first, but I think I was a grade above her at the school, but I can see if I can know anyone on social media who might have heard from her lately.
Best thing that we can do is keep them as hidden as possible until the threat passes. And then maybe we can get word to them to get out. But if they are there, any attempt to get up there would be pointless. It would just be suicide. And it would risk exposing them. The benefit we have is that she's human. Therefore, likely to go unknown to them.
It's fucked up, isn't it? The best thing I can do for them is to not even really get involved and have other people help hide them from me. It's kind of feels wrong, but
it's exactly what you do. We are a risk to everyone we knew, know, and loved by what we are. Being a guru is a very solitary existence. And that's why we need each other. We need our pack. We need our sept. Maintaining relationships outside of that is difficult. And it is not impossible, but you have to make decisions like this.
So sometimes wish we were given kind of the rundown of this whole existence before we were thrust into it. Would have been nice to know, went over the contract and everything.
I didn't exactly lay out paperwork and say sign here.
Yeah, well, I guess I can't be too mad. She did save my life when I did my whole thing, so can't be too upset. Look, I think I talked enough about my secret bullshit stuff. Anyone else got something they're gonna drop now? They want trauma bond over something here? Okay, now this feels a little awkward now. Okay, well, do we have any mission stuff to talk about at least? Please, I need to get away from that.
Yeah. Any last minute questions for Stakes? So if not, then we'll move past it for right now and then talk about the mission.
I do have one question. She'll look at Stakes. Is there anything that we can do to accommodate you? And she gestures to her eye, like to the eye, while you're adjusting.
She scoffs a little lightheartedly. I have more than one sense. I should be okay, but if you really want to do me a favor, don't move the furniture. At least not too dramatically. I'm okay.
I installed a doggy door so it'll be easier to get out.
Appreciate that. I am okay. This was difficult, but I am here. I'm a survivor. I have been. I will be. Don't pity me. Don't pity the others. They died a good death. Fighting the worm. And dying. That is our lot. So don't pity them. That would just dishonor their memory.
Should we do I mean it may sound weird, but like a little mini funeral thing for him, or at least a little get together about it. I don't think they really have anyone to do that for them, especially now.
I think that's a really good idea. Would you like that, Stakes?
Yes.
I think we can toss in a couple other people too. I think we all have had our share of people dying and funerals needed.
There's rights for it.
Well, we can plan for that. But like you said, Forged, there's also what's happening now. I've got a rough idea of what's going on, but you all would know better. So, what's the plan?
So right now, you know about the rough idea about this plant leech. Last week, we split up into two teams, and me and Delphine went to go talk to Spud and try to get some information from him about what this leech might be, what powers they might have, try to see if we can get a description from him. And we got some good information. Not a whole lot. He didn't want to divulge anything that might be harmful to him, but he gave a good rough outline on what this leech could be and what it could do. And then Forge and Juniper went to go check out one of the destroyed hives. Got some information from Juniper a little earlier, but I'll have them break it down in detail now. But first off, talking to Spud. Delphine, if I miss anything, just jump in. But we got a name for what they call this leech, potentially, what this leech could be. Spud called it a gangrel. They're known to be good with animals. Some are extremely good at controlling them and communicating with them.
And seeing through them.
Yep, using them as their eyes and ears. They also, some of them prefer to stay as animals, kind of like snakes staying in their lupus form. They also potentially have the ability of making people angry or calm. Don't know how they do that. I think Spud mentioned something about like just stoking that inner fire inside people, either driving it up or quenching it. And so potentially this leech could use our anger against us. So that's something we should definitely watch out for. When we were explaining some of the things that we know about the leech and these plant people, like them melding into the ground, he mentioned that this leech sounds old, sounds powerful. So this is potentially a lot stronger of a leech than any we may have faced on the ship. So that's something we need to definitely watch out for. If this thing is more powerful than those, could be a problem.
Also, digging in the ground is useless. According to Spud, even if we dug into the ground, they would just sink further in.
That's bullshit.
The best thing you can do then is either get them in a place where there's no ground to go to, or make the ground unappealing. Now, I'd prefer not to go poisoning the earth, but there are traps you can put underground that make sinking into it less than enjoyable. I've dug into a few gardens in my time and found some surprises waiting for me that I didn't care for.
I have an idea about that, but I'll talk about that when I get to talk about what me and Delphine found.
Well, hold up. What did you and Delphine find?
Oh, I thought we were gonna go like in order here, and then we'll.
Yeah, one thing.
Yeah,
at a
but then
time.
I know, but then you just like dropped that, and now I'm like, you know.
Well, the information will come out. It's true. That's a surprise that you guys found something. I didn't know you guys went off, but it's good that you went together.
The only other thing about these gangrel is that they can also, and she points to her teeth and then flexes her hand. They can do sharp teeth, big claws.
So like a shittier form of us.
apparently very similar to they're like the leech versions of us, kind of.
So worse us. Got it.
I mean, yeah. We're definitely better.
All right. Well, one thing I can say about leeches is they are very territorial, like us also. They pick hunting grounds. They pick locations that they're comfortable, targets that they're comfortable with, like a predator, like any predator. They have a methodology. Rarely is it random.
In that vein, when I was examining the map that Charles gave us, and I was kind of digging more into it, there is a congregation of hives that might allude to a location that we can investigate more into. This is not set in stone. I don't 100% know if this is where this leech is or where it originates from, but there's the Hard Rock Hotel from that area branching out to the east. There's a lot of close hives, a lot of areas that I don't know if the animals have gone missing heavily in that area. That's something I didn't really investigate. But branching off from there, it seems to spread out from that area.
Well, I mean, sounds like we got an area to kind of look around at. I mean, there's also, also jumping ahead a little bit, but we can come back to it. Me and Juniper found some potential leads and a name, so we can start looking around, see where that is, and go from there. Maybe help out with that.
It's a good place to start, but Aspen got me caught up on this little deal that they have with the leeches. That particular hotel's a no-go zone, at least at night. So the city leeches know about it. And if there was something hunting there, I'm pretty sure they'd know about that too, unless it's waiting outside, which is possible. But going into the hotel is going to be a little tricky.
I don't think going into the hotel is necessary. That's just where I saw. The only other place I could think of, potentially, that this leech could be congregating at is the Eureka Springs Park. It's a park just northeast of the hotel. It's not as congregated around the location as like the hotel, but looking at the map, you can see that there is a small branching out in a circle, hives going from there.
I think that location might be the more likely one, just because from what Spud was telling us, he's got a friend that hangs around him that is also one of these gangrel, and from what I'm understanding, is they tend to avoid cities and even the leech politics.
And it would make sense that it probably wouldn't be hunting directly where it is staying at, sleeping at the night. I mean, this wouldn't make sense for you to not want to draw attention to yourself, so you hunt away from where you go to sleep. Otherwise, you're just bringing them on your door.
Yeah, and it could even, depending on where they're hunting, potentially try and lead the evidence, quote unquote, to something else entirely.
Well, it might not be where they're staying, but it gives us an idea of where they're looking. So If you look into the missing persons or get whatever information you can and see if they're around there, then you'll know where they are primarily taking people from.
I mean, we know about the connection to the animals. Whatever, a lot of these people seem connected with animals or having pets. So, I mean, at least have a little bit of a lead in that regard. And, maybe that can give us a little something.
Could help you figure out who their next target's going to be.
Also, just from if the hotel was absolutely necessary, and it was necessary for us to go in at night, from what I'm hearing, these leeches that are in charge of the city right now don't want this thing going around either. We could potentially see if Aspen could negotiate a parlay of the area temporarily. It's for us to deal with it, so that way they don't have to deal with it either.
Could also potentially negotiate a meet with one of the leeches from the hotel, see if they have any other information or insight into the area. Like I said, they're a territorial sort. If they find out that people are going missing, someone's hunting on their territory, they tend to investigate.
Yeah, and if it's getting to the point where, like, we're figuring it out, it's not going to be too long before the police or the feds or whoever is investigating all these missing people is going to be able to figure it out either.
I mean, we're supposed to be on a truce, mutually benefiting each other. As bullshit as it is.
It's an option. I don't like it, but we can definitely get in contact with them if we need to.
What did you find, Forged, Delphine?
Now, you want to go ahead, Delphine? I mean, you know more about that stuff. Better explain things than I am.
So, I have a spirit that I've been friendly with since back in hell. It's an lesser owl spirit. Her name's Gilfie, but I asked her to go through the Umbra and check out some of the hives for me to see if there was any increased activity, some more corrupt places, and she saw something strange at one of the locations. So me and Forged went out to check it out. Sorry for not clearing it with you, Ray. I just didn't want to bug you, and it was a deserted hive anyway. So I did just bring Forge with me so we could to do the buddy system. But anyway, we went over and it wasn't corrupted. You could see that there was stuff, like it was a hive, but it didn't have the same corruption that previous hives that we've seen had. And then Forged found a bullet in the dirt. And when I looked I used, and she just gestures to her eye region, I used my powers, abilities, whatever you want to call them, to see some stuff about the bullet and where it came from. I saw white fire that engulfed me. It burned really bad. Like, it felt fine at first. It didn't hurt, but then it really fucking hurt. More than normal fire would. And there was a person I could see. I couldn't see who they were, but I think they were a woman. And they were wearing a hoodie, and they were talking about cleansing the world. And the fire was white. And they had like this glowing aura around them, and then their eyes were glowing too. And then later, when we were heading back to the car, Forge stepped on something, and when he went to go look at it, and she pulls out the talkie bag, and she upends the glass and the crumbs and everything onto the coffee table. I don't know what this was, what it held, but when Forge touched it, and she'll look at Forge and gesture to his hand so he can show them.
I'll show my burnt hand. The thing, that shit burned like hell.
Stakes leans down towards the glass and starts sniffing at it. There's oils, water, incense. It's holy water.
I didn't, like, that's a thing that can hurt us? I thought
we
that only
demons?
hurt leeches.
Well, I don't know, honestly, but one of the things I was taught is that there is some that have an ability to bless objects or places or people. They have some sort of divine power. If this is one of those, it means we're not the only ones hunting these things. Like you said, maybe somebody took notice.
Which I was thinking was the good thing, to be honest. I mean, though they did sound, from what Delphine described, they sounded kind of fucking crazy. But I mean, apparently everything looked okay there. It didn't look like shit when the one that me and Juniper looked at. So I was thinking, if this shit burns us and it's like a liquid, it's like holy water. If they're sinking in the dirt, we're having trouble getting them out. Instead of doing the setting traps or whatever, you just pour it into the ground. We just get enough of it. We just pour it where they're sleeping, and they just burn in the ground, and it doesn't ruin everything. Sounds like a win-win-win, right?
Can be, but there are some that don't discriminate about the things that they go after. They're looking for monsters. Any monsters. And they're looking to purge them. That includes us.
I think we might be able to convince them to at least either. I mean, one thing that we're good at looking like people. We walk around the day, we eat, even if we touch silver, nothing bad happens. So, I mean, maybe we can push them in the right direction, or maybe say that we're kind of on the same side. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like just a really useful thing, and it's not going to ruin everything, the land, and make it all fucked.
Yeah, but then that's letting them know that we are around. They might not know we're here. If we tip them off, what's to stop them from coming at us?
Well, that's why I'm saying we good at pretending we're people. If we just, I mean, I don't know about. I know some of the sep leadership might be, if they pulled up to Eliza, I'm sure they might be able to put those pieces together pretty quickly. But I mean, me, some young party dude going around, I mean, that might be a little harder to get that one. Or, I mean, anyone else really that can be sort of decent, that misleading.
Forge.
What about...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go.
I was just gonna say that I didn't even know that Spud was a leech. But he knew what I was. I don't know what these people are, but we have to assume that anything remotely supernatural could know, what we are.
It's not a bad idea, but we need more information before we make any moves to work with more outside entities. We need to make sure that we know as much as we can going in, because Delphine's right. If they figure out what we are, that may not be, the current threat might not be enough to stop them from coming after us too. But also, having another group taking care of hives is not a bad thing. I think we just have to learn as much as we can about them. I have a very small understanding about it, but maybe some of the others know more.
It's definitely an avenue that we can go down very cautiously. This person could be a potential asset in helping us with the hives, but they also could be very dangerous, and it could be unnecessary risk. But it seems like they're taking care of hives on their own. Honestly, if they're already concerned of the hives and they're already going to them and killing these things, just let them keep doing their thing. They might not be as quick as us at the uptech on like knowing where these hives are, but if they're able to take out a few of them while we're dealing with others without them knowing that we exist or that we know that they exist, that's a net positive.
We just need to make sure that we don't draw a lot of attention to ourselves or accidentally cross paths with them at one of these hives, which means having your eyes open and your ears open, even your nose. They have a smell. People have a smell. And using this, she points to the broken glass as an indication. You get used to that smell. You get to know that smell. You'll be able to detect it if it's coming or nearby.
In that vein, when Steak says that, can I activate my sharpened senses to like
Absolutely.
just get that smell and like learn it a little bit more deeply?
Yeah, absolutely. You, like she had said, you smell oil, you smell incense, you smell even the glass itself, as well as the water, but water smells like water, except it has that oil in it. And so you get a pretty strong sense of it.
Also, do you still have that bullet?
Oh, yeah, I'll fetch it out of my pocket and bringing it prepared. I'll hand it on over to Ray, just saying, looked like normal bullet to me, so I'm thinking whatever hell was done with it was something external. I mean, you probably know bullets more than I do.
It came out of a gun. I think it was a 9mm with a silencer.
Can I examine the bullet? Try to figure out what caliber, what potentially could shoot it?
Give me a wits and investigation.
I'm going to use the willpower. Five successes.
So the casings, it is a 9mm. It comes from a 9mm. It looks like this was probably a hollow point bullet before. Obviously, the bullet itself is missing. It's just the casing. But from what you can tell from examining it, it looks like it belongs to a hollow point round.
Does it have a I'm trying to think of the correct identification number on it, on the casing at all?
It's filed off.
So you're right. It is a 9mm. Holding up the casing and kind of flipping it around. The identification number is filed off. So this person obviously knew what they were doing to hide any evidence, even if it was found.
But that kind of ammunition isn't easy to get. You search maybe some of the pawn shops or gun stores in the area around there. Maybe you can get some more information too.
Definitely.
Yeah, sounds about good. But other than that, I think that was the main thing from me and Delphine's search. We found all that, and everything looked pretty good. I mean, that's the main thing I was kind of surprised by, that everything was just normal looking, looked good. I know me and Juniper also went out and investigate another hive. Been going on a lot of those lately, but do you want to take it, Juniper, or you want me to kind of wing the explanation here?
Why don't you take point on this one, Forged?
All right, so we went out there, and like every other hive, it looked like shit. All the soil was fucked. A bunch of dead stuff in there. I think we found out, we break some of it up. There's like bones and bone fragments. It was real nasty. I remember I dug in the fucked up soil. Juniper dug in the normal soil. Not very great. Some things we did find. I know for one thing that really caught my attention with this ring we found, with maybe get some information from it. Juniper, you're holding on to it, right?
To add on to that, I actually did take it to Artie, and we've been working on making a map of where we're finding items and where the missing persons are. The items that we can track back to missing persons, I mean. And it hasn't really been helpful in the way of trying to see where, like, if there's any connection between, like, the hives around where people are missing. People are turning up in random places. They're not necessarily super close to in the hives, super close to where they've gone missing. It's just been very random, to be honest. So I don't know if the items are necessarily helpful outside of hopefully maybe eventually returning them to their families and loved ones somehow, some way, possibly.
I mean, there was one that I thought Ray might be interested in. There were some dog tags. Figured that, I don't know, you might be able to glean something from them, or maybe, like, even there are places where, like, veterans go around to, like, chill. You probably could fit in there, right? Ask around, you know, see if they know anything.
Yeah, can I see him?
I imagine just pull them out. I imagine I grabbed all the stuff, just, you know, preparation. So I'll just pull out the dog tags and hand them on over.
Yeah, they're typical Army infantry dog tags. The name Luis Santiago on it.
Shot in the dark. Do I recognize the name?
No.
I assumed, but didn't know if a curveball would be thrown. Yeah, they just look like army dog tags. I mean, I don't tend to go to places that have or where veterans congregate. You know, people aren't really supposed to know that I was a part of the military, a part of the whole, AWOL thing. But I could go to one of these locations and see if I find anything.
I mean, I figured out of all people to talk with them, the one that actually was in the fucking military would, be the best one to send. I know jack shit, and Juniper probably could pass, but Delphine definitely not.
Might also be worth going to the homes of these people. No matter how random they seem, they have something in common. Maybe something we're not even picking up on. Whether they have a similar place that they go to or similar people that they deal with. When these leeches hunt, they hunt something specifically and somewhere specifically. Now, the thing that could make this complicated is that there are hives that aren't attached to the leech, that are still attached to just the whole piney point of it all. So that's where we could get tricked or deceived or thrown off, is if we go looking into some people that aren't part of the leech's work.
Any items you find I could also take a look at in my way, see if there's any connection.
I mean, if you want to, you can go ahead. It's just it's just like, I'll just look over to Ray, just if you want to right now.
I mean, that's up to Delphine. We have a bunch of items right now. I don't know if you really want to sit here and do that with every item at the moment.
I could look at them throughout the week a little bit at a time. It takes it out of me to do it a lot.
Yeah. Take your time. Don't rush it. I mean, like Steak said, this could be something that helps us connect everyone together, or it could be all misleads. So
A red herring?
Yeah.
So what's the plan then? Some of us are going to go investigate this shit, or we chilling? We going to Hard Rock? We are. I want to be a part of that mission.
I would also like to be part of the Hard Rock mission. But I do think that we should probably talk to the Sept leader about discussing the truce.
Do we have to? I mean, Ray, you got that, right?
Yeah, I'll talk to Aspen. I don't think the Hard Rock Hotel is on the table right now. That's something that maybe down the line. But in my opinion, now that we have a little bit more information, we can compile what we know, what we've gathered. I can take everything that we've gathered on the missing persons, the missing animals, the hive locations, and I can try to narrow this place down a little bit more. I can try to find maybe a more concrete place that this leech could be at. I don't know what the next full step could be. The only thing that really comes to mind is we've already gone and looked at a bunch of destroyed hives. The next step could be...
We still need to get a life specimen for Spud.
Yeah, the next step could be going to an active hive. So...
I mean,
Okay.
if that's what y'all gotta do for that, but I mean, I thought, at least from what I'm understanding, it seems like our best action here, at least how Stakes is suggesting and how everything's looking out, that finding out where the thing is pretty fucking hard, because it's just gonna keep moving and keep hiding around. So, especially if it thinks it's to the ground. So instead of trying to find where it is exactly as much or where it's hiding, find out where it's going to be feeding, where it's going to go. So then we can essentially ambush this motherfucker when it's out and about, when it's not somewhere where it knows as much or can hide as easily. So I guess we just need to find where the thing's going to be next, and then we spring this trap on this bitch, or just set an ambush up where we can even pretend to be the preferred victim.
Ooh. One of us could be bait?
I mean, I don't know if I want one of us to be bait. That's an option. But narrowing this down, seeing if it is the Eureka Park or if it is the Hard Rock Hotel. If I can eliminate one of them, we know where they're originating from. And in that case, we could follow what you said. We know where they're going to be hunting around, and then we can track and try to pinpoint where potentially their next victim would be. It's all connected. We do one thing, it opens up a door to another. So doing this, we could open up the door to us finding its next location or its next hunt. So
I think as far as next steps are concerned, yes, narrowing down the information we have. Delphine using her gift to look at the items to see if there's any connection between them. Going and talking to the families or investigating the missing homes, the homes of these missing people, and talking to their families about their habits, behaviors, learning whatever you can there. Also, preparing to fight this thing. If we've heard what it can do, we need to find ways to counter it. If it can make us angrier or less angry, we need to have something to either stop that or to counter it in some way. I know that the Galliards have certain gifts, certain songs that they can do that can make us angrier or less angry. Fortunately, our Galliard fucked off, but that doesn't mean that you can't learn the songs or get the assistance of a Galliard.
We have a flute. Before we left Hell, Sean gave us a flute.
And if we, it's not going to be in the moment, but before we go out on this hunt, I have the right to get us all pissed off. So at least make sure that if he tries to quell our anger, it'd be a little bit fucking hard.
Also, checking the behavior of animals. Going to places where animals frequent. Keeping an eye out for animals behaving strangely, unnaturally. They're sparing the animals. That much we know. But why? And what are they doing with them? If they can see through them or use them, there are probably animals wandering around that area looking for a target on their behalf. Finding one of those animals, following them back, or just paying attention to where they're looking. That'll tell you what they're hoping to find. So learn the behavior of animals and study the animals in the region. If they're acting unnaturally, it's likely connected.
That sounds good. So, pack leader, who's doing what? Who's got to do what?
I mean, I could tell you all what to do, but at this point, we need people where their strengths lie. So, what do you all feel you would be best at? And what task do you feel like you could do? And then we can pair up. If it's not a dangerous task, you can go off and investigate it by yourself. Just be cautious. But what do you all think you would be able to do the best to help accomplish this goal.
Well, I'm pretty decent at, pretending to care about people, so I can just go to the families or investigate the houses. I'm pretty decent at both of those.
I'm good at sneaking quietly, and I'm good at keeping us quiet, and I could, like I said, I'm gonna look at stuff through my visions. But anything Umbra related, talking to spirits, I could help with that.
Pretty good at animals, right, Juniper? You'd probably be decent at looking at the animals, right? I mean, you did the whole, like, farmer's life, right?
Farmer's life is putting it a little bit simply, but yes, I am good with animals. I can go out and track them around, see what's going on.
I can help you with that.
I'd like that, Stakes.
Okay.
We're gonna do a little team huddle, send off here for the whole pack meeting.
Big thing to do is to make sure that you're not doing the same things. Otherwise, we're not making any progress. So communicate with each other about what your plans and intentions are. Sounds like a lot of people went out to hives. Maybe you visited the same one and got the same information. You got to make sure that you're very clear with one another what you're doing, how you're doing it, with who, so that you aren't repeating yourselves or walking over steps someone else has walked.
I mean, it seems like in this instance, different hives were visited, so that's good. I know Forged went to both of the hives, so he knew which ones they already went to. So, but yeah, communication is key. Always, just keep everyone noted. If you go out and do something, let me know, or let someone else know. So that way you're accounted for. And if you do need help, we can respond. But I think if we follow down any of these avenues, we'll be able to kind of narrow down what we need to do next. And then hopefully, sooner rather than later, we can deal with this thing.
So
Sounds good, boss man.
So as you all have your marching orders and agree upon a plan, this is where our story comes to a close, but not without one last scene. There's music playing, loudly echoing off of the band shell. The great gathering place on the east side of town where many, many concerts take place, the amphitheater by the fairgrounds. A huge concert is going on. People are dancing, people are singing. And yet, atop the amphitheater shell, peering just over the side, are a pair of glowing red eyes. As the last song plays, the encore's done. The people have cheered their last cheer of the night. They all start to wander off, to return to their vehicles, to return to their homes. But as always, there are stragglers. Just as one of these over-intoxicated individuals goes to stumble out into the emptying parking lot, they are pulled into the ground. This is where our story comes to a close. Thank you so much to these amazing players. Thank you to everyone watching at home. Thank you to Champ for returning as her guest position as Aspen. And go enter our Halloween contest. It's going to end November 1st, so that's just about a week from now. So get those entries in so you can win that prize pack. We've got Rage Across Tampa on Tuesday over on Twitch and another episode of Hellhounds next Friday, so tune into those. For these amazing players, I'm Kent. Thank you so much and have a lovely evening.
This has been a St. Petersburg by Night production. Hellhounds is produced in agreement with the World of Darkness and Dark Pact. The storyteller for Hellhounds is Kent. Tonight's characters were voiced by Jay, Lilith, Ben, Nikki, and Katie. Visit our website at stpbynight.com for more information about all of our productions and how you can become part of our community. Thank you for listening. Until next time, fangs, stakes, and claws out.